What's going on, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today I have an exciting new knife to share with you guys, and this one is coming in from our friends over at CMB Made Knives. While we're tearing into this thing, let me know down in the comments what your EDC is for today. So this is pretty exciting because this is a new release for CMB, and it is going to be in their more budget line, which, if you're not familiar with CMB, they have a phenomenal budget line. They don't have a ton of knives in the budget line, but the knives they do have are phenomenal. And this is going to be another edition right here. This is called the CMB Explorer, and these are going to fall right around the $60 mark or just under that. And for what you are getting from them, we're going to bring out a couple of this knives brothers here in a moment, but they have an awesome selection of a couple of designs and a lot of different variations that you can choose from. And for 60 bucks, what are we going to be looking at here? We have 14C 28N steel. This particular one has a black wash finish, and I believe they have coated and uncoated, and then there's a wide range of different micartas you can choose from as far as color variations. So there's lots of different setups you can get with the Explorer. We have a beautiful sharpening choil here, and we have a nice flat running along the top of the blade there and then dying off that last quarter. Couple of thumb studs, and then we have some jimping on the spine. Just a very casual budget knife. The micarta is really nice over top of some steel liners. There is some internal milling in there, and we do have a micarta backspacer, hidden lanyard post, and we are looking at a deep carry clip that is going to be reversible. They include a filler tab, really nice. Nothing on the show side of the blade. We do have their logo there on the pivot. The crossbar lock, it feels a lot like the Predator crossbar lock, and I've handled some premium knives from CMB. The crossbar lock they do is very solid. Now, in regards to the size of this knife, going to be a very standard size. We're looking at about 3 3/16, so not quite 3 1/4 of cutting edge, and then total blade about 3 1/2, and then coming down there just shy of 8 inches overall. We'll bring out a couple of comparison knives here. We got the Kaiser Drop Bear and the Kaiser Militol, and you'll see it's right in between both of them, but more along the lines of the size of the Militol. And we have a couple of the brothers. We have the Predator V3 from CMB and the Predator V2 down here. And you'll see this gives you a good idea of what color micartas they use and the two different finishes that they typically do. They do a nice satin, and then they also do a really nice black wash as well. So you have a couple of different combinations that you can go with when you're looking at the Predator, whether it's the V2 or 3 or whether it's the new Explorer. And you'll see, I know some people thought that this handle was a little tall, maybe a little thicker. Well, the Explorer is kind of a little bit longer version, but it's slimmed down. So maybe if the Predator was a little too large in the hand for you, I think this is going to be much more accommodating. Now, with that being said, my hand, I wear an XL glove a little bit, 4 inches or so from side to side here, and I get a nice grip on this knife here. Now, it's not going to be quite as filling as this is to my hand, but with that all being said, this is still going to be a comfortable, casual knife. Depending on the hand size, I think, some people who've been around who really know what they're looking for, if that's a little too tall, then this would be a good option. Now, I think, it's going to be tough to say. This has been long-standing, one of my favorite designs and pocket knives when it comes to the budget realm. But the Explorer definitely has a lot of potential with it. And as far as I know you don't see a filler tab on this Predator V3 here, and that is one I bought, my own personal one. I think they have since updated those, and those are now coming with a filler tab as well. So let's see what this thing looks like in the pocket. Very clean. You'll have a little bit poking out there, but that'll be nice to grab a hold of and pull this thing out of the pocket. Really good retention there on the way out. I like this setup. I like the deep carry clip with a little bit poking out there. I like being able to get to the knife just really easily in most cases, and not that a deep carry clip gives me trouble, but in some instances I do like that, and then other instances I like a nice deep carry. Let's go ahead and we'll get a weight on the Explorer. So we'll have to see here. This, I don't know, maybe like 3.5, maybe. Could be a little bit, well, 3, let's say 3.5. Let's say 3.6 to be safe. Ooh, it's a little beefier than that. What are these coming in at? 4.6. Yeah, the Predator is a hefty boy. I think the button lock, the new one's a little lighter. Yeah, it is by like 0.2. So this is definitely the lightest out of the crew. 3.94, and we are looking at 112 grams. The other place where this is going to be more maybe accommodating is, like I said earlier, this handle thickness. We're looking at 0.51 there, which that is, that's pretty average, I would say. That's pretty thin. We're looking at a 117 thousandths on the blade stock, which that's pretty decent. That's getting down there pretty thin. And then we'll check a random spot here behind the edge. And that's coming down there pretty good too, about 19 thousandths. I believe both the Predators were about 22 behind the edge on average. So this is actually going to be a little bit thinner. Let's see how this thing cuts out of the box. So we have our standard SMKW catalog paper here. And let's see what kind of edge we're looking at. CMB, if you're not familiar, guys, they do an outstanding job. From tip to butt, they do a really good job. They just, they might not be as well known as certain companies, but, there's certain things that play into that. Not to mention, they're a little bit newer of a company. They haven't been around that long. But this is going to be a nice poker, a nice slicer. This is going to be a great EDC knife right here. The next thing we have to check here, and I like this, you can really cheat up behind that edge if you choose to there. Now, that's going to be very similar to the Predator design as far as being able to creep up here in that choil area. The last thing that we have to check here is going to be this lock, and I have to point out that both the Predators pass this with flying colors. They'll get a front row seat here. This thing is nicely centered up. We have no detent to worry about, so there's not going to be any detent lash. There's no pivot lash. We'll do a soft lock up here and check everything. Everything feels really good, really tight. So let's see what we're looking at here. We'll give this a couple of taps. Check it. Couple of harder taps there in the middle. And I think we're going to be in really good shape here. Very good. Very good. Yeah, I wanted to get this. I've had this sitting here for a little bit, but I opted to buy this and do the Predator V3 video before the Explorer, just because I was really excited about the Predator V3. I have to say, though, I was pretty excited about the Explorer series, too. Just another awesome option from CMB. You guys will have to let me know. Which is more your style, the Predator series or is it the Explorer series? And you'll have to let me know why. Or do you like both of them? I like both, and I think both would be great in certain, depending on what you're looking to get out of the knife and to do with the knife. I think a crossbar lock is going to be stronger than a standard plunge lock, but they have been getting a lot better and a lot more reliable over the last year or so. And I mean, really reliable compared to what they used to be. Crossbar locks are really good they're really good locks for folding knives. So, a little bit harder use, the crossbar knives, they'll be great for EDC. Predator is going to be an awesome model, whether it's plunge or crossbar lock. They will both certainly get the job done. Let me know which one you would go with, and let me know if you have any experience with CMB. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on these knives. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That helps push these out there to more people, and I really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, I release daily videos just like this. Make sure you're subscribed and you ring that bell. That'll notify you anytime I release new videos. I'll pop up a couple of new videos on your screen. Go check one of them out. Have an awesome day. I'll catch you on the next one.